What is up, everybody? Welcome you to episode 25 of SportsShack. My name is Brandon Natali, along with a good buddy, a great buddy of mine, Dennis Tui, Mr. Tui, I should say.
Yeah.
And it is June 18th. A couple days away from Fanatics Fest. We'll dive into that later on in the show. A lot of things going on in the sports world. The Florida Panthers are now back-to-back NHL Stanley Cup champions. Congratulations to them. We're talking about Brad Marchand, who originally was a Boston Bruin, winning his third cup because he wasn't on the team last year. Second cup, okay. They traded him. When did they trade? They traded him this offseason? Or was it
this mid-season? The Bruins traded away Brad Marchand for a Boston market, cornbread, and mac and cheese. No, I'm sorry. Similarly to that, he got the conditional second-round pick, which could upgrade to a first-round pick. And I believe it has upgraded to a first-round pick now.
Okay.
Great. You traded away your best player for the 32nd overall pick. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Stupid.
I'll take that Boston cornbread and the mac and cheese, though. I mean, that sounds good. I mean, if you give me a Cape Cod lobster in it, now that's a deal.
Now we're talking. If that's all it costs to get Brad Marchand, I don't know why he wasn't in Devil Red.
But hey, good for him though. Seems like he obviously fit in well with that team, with the Panthers, that they're able to make a second run for the back-to-back, Stanley Cup champions, and they did it.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh yeah.
And Matt McDavid hasn't gotten one.
Yeah, that's what everyone's talking about. This is his second cup that he's been to. It's sad. Last year was sad because they made a comeback from 3-0. Panthers almost crumbled. Honestly, if they didn't win last year, that would have probably been detrimental for them in the future, for the Panthers. Knowing, what happened to the Atlanta Falcons. I know that's, football, but you see how like a devastating loss in a championship game can have an effect on your franchise in the long run. Like the Atlanta Falcons, they were up 28-3. And now the famous 28-3 meme, and obviously we all saw what happened at the end of that game. So now the Panthers last year, I remember they were up 3-0, and the Oilers, they almost made a comeback. They were almost there, but the game obviously went back to Sunrise, Florida, where they took advantage and they won. That's when they took their first ever Stanley Cup. So now, imagine if they didn't win it last year, that would have you probably not maybe see it this year. What do you think on that?
I mean, I don't know. It was the rematch. I see your point. I mean, they almost blew a 3-0 lead. They did. For it to even get to a Game 7 is not ideal. But they did wind up winning, 4-2, 5-2 in that game. So, I mean, it is what it is. I guess we'll never know, right? And
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you. But like I said, I guess we'll never know.
No, hey, it's true.
But what I will say is kudos to them for not rolling the dice a second time and acquiring somebody like Brad Marchand, who's been, one of the best players of the last 15 years. He's an all-star twice, first all-star team twice, second all-star team twice, and now a two-time Stanley Cup champion. But he's got a lot of awards, man.
He did win the Four Nations Cup, which was really fun. That was fun to watch. I forgot about that. That was fun to watch around that time. Yeah, I feel like McDavid, he's known as the best player in the world in hockey. Now we see what's going on. This is second straight Stanley Cup. At least it's been to 2 cups. I mean, it's great to even get to the Stanley Cup, but you got to win it, though. So now that's the only knock. And that's kind of what happened with Peyton Manning in football. It's kind of like he was known as one of the best quarterback to play ever, best in the world, before Tom Brady overtook him. And then so that was a knock on him. Could he win Could he win a Super Bowl? And he finally did it. But in terms of McDavid, yeah, he's regarded as the best player in hockey. and best in the world too. So for him to not be able to hoist the Stanley Cup, though, it's not heartbreaking, but it's definitely disappointing to see because he definitely deserves to be one of those hockey players rolling around in the rink, like skating around and hoisting up that Stanley Cup in front of the crowds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that McDavid's not. Like, what do you got to do? This Panthers team is a super team.
Sam Bennett.
Yeah. Yeah, I already have Matthew Tkachuk, Barbov. Like, they have so many guys that are just good. They have a really good team. I know it's like, well, no kidding, Dennis. They're back-to-back champions. They made the Stanley Cup final 3 years in a row now. What a hot take to say good team is good. Wow, I know, crazy. But, I mean, I think that sometimes the adjectives we use to describe some of these teams, it just all sounds the same. Dude, they're good. Sergei Bobrovsky is one of the best goaltenders in the league. We know that. Last night, he had 1 goal against him. He had 28 saves on 29 shots, obviously. I mean, what do you got to do to beat this team?
Yeah.
What do you got to beat this team?
The New York Islanders and James Hagan.
Like, it's unbelievable. Sam Reinhart, Verhaeghe.
Bobrovsky at goalie.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got to do to beat him? And the Leafs were up 2-0 on them and lost Game 7 at home. Typical Leafs. And speaking of Marchand, they're the first. He's the first player to score 5 goals and 2 separate World Series, 2 separate Stanley Cup Finals for 2 different teams.
Really?
Yeah. The only one. Good for him. So, I mean, like, their team loaded.
They got good coaching.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, they might lose guys in the offseason. We know that might happen. Marchand, he's going to be a free agent. That's why he was traded in the first place. Was that him and the Bruins couldn't
come up
with an extension, a mutually agreed upon extension. We'll see what happens. But I don't know how you can beat this team. I'm looking at my Devils. I got the shirt on today. I'm looking at my boys, and I'm like, I don't know. Even if we're healthy, injuries always plague our stupid team, but if we're healthy, I don't know how we're beating these guys.
Yeah.
They look horrible today. My gosh.
Don't get me started with my hair.
Yeah, yours looks better than mine.
No, don't make me blush now.
Yeah, so went to bed late. That didn't help. I was watching the Padres and the Dodgers. The next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. The next thing you know, it's 3:30 a.m. and I'm still playing my stupid little game. And I had to go.
I gotta. Before we get back into hockey, I gotta try to play more Xbox at night. Like I love Xbox. Everybody, it's not addicting. No, not that I would be addicted with it, but the only games I really would play are Madden, and I need to play Jedi Survivor. For Fallen Order, I need to play Survivor. It's with guys love gaming, so do girls too. Gaming, it's a great hobby. I played games since I was 5 years old. Maybe sometimes a Game Boy. Not to make myself sound old. I'm sure a lot of kids nowadays, they don't even know what a Game Boy is.
I think they do. I think kids nowadays, with the internet, I think they know exactly what it is.
Right, but I think
it's not like you're saying when I was a kid, I was playing my Power Glove,
or playing at the arcade.
Yeah,
with the guys.
Me and the guys, we used to play. We used to sneak into the bar. And we used to play pinball machines.
Yeah. Wow. Play the jukebox.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but either way, just in terms of, I mean, great. It was definitely a great Stanley Cup, though. It was definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun playoffs. I'm just
2 overtime games, I think.
I don't think this was great. 2 overtime games and blowout. I'm not looking at the score card in front of me, so I could be talking out of my rear end here, but no, it was 5-4, 3 overtime games, 6-1, 5-2, 5-1. I don't think that's great. I know it's like it doesn't have to be high scoring to be great, Dennis. It's like I know, but it certainly helps when you don't have to turn off a game at the start of the third period. It certainly helps.
True. Yeah.
A lot of fights and what. I don't like how dirty Florida is.
When they
I don't know why teams just allow them to do it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. They cheap shot everybody after every single like play, every stoppage. They're trying to rough guys up. You know what? Just take a guy out. I know that's easy for you to say, Dennis. Somebody's skating across the ice, just take them right out. They want to get nasty, get nastier. I don't get why teams.
It's definitely hockey is it's such a physical sport.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like every whistle blow, there's always like a little scuffle.
When I played lacrosse, I used to do that.
They're allowed to fight too, but then they can't come back within like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like a 5-minute timeout. But hey, shout out to them. It's definitely gonna be interesting off season. I know the NHL draft is coming away. Let's take a look, see what kind of prospects that the Island. I think of my New York Islanders have the first overall pick. A lot of people, you know what? And this is actually an interesting theory that we should talk about. A lot of people saying now, because in terms of the lottery, that if something happens with a team, say now, for instance, with the Islanders, they were supposed to have the All-Star game this upcoming season. But something happened, I think that got switched. I forgot the reason why. I got to look it up. But as of, compensation, the NHL was like, hey, here's the first overall pick. Same thing with the Dallas Mavericks. They had to trade Luka Doncic. But now, in a way, since we had to do that, here's the first overall pick now. Now you get opportunity for a Cooper Flag. What do you think on that theory? It's a little bit conspiracy.
I definitely think it happened with the Lakers. Definitely.
It definitely looks legit.
Definitely with the Mavericks and Lakers.
Like, I'm not trying to
listen, how many times, how come every single one of these things, somehow, some way, these controversies always seem to benefit one team in the NBA? It's always with the same team is involved, and it's always, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Like, did it happen in '85 with the Knicks with Patrick Ewing?
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that because people did like experiments to see how he could have known the frozen envelope and whatnot. By the time it was in like the little roulette machine, it would have thought out. You wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
I think the
theory, the way the paper is.
I don't feel like that conspiracy on it. I don't think it's really that conspiracy. Like I think it could be legit. Like the Islanders say, like we can't have the All-Star game, but the NHL is like, hey, here's the first overall pick.
Let me look up why they couldn't have the All-Star game.
I forgot why. And I remember, person at my job that I was telling you, they work at UBS, like doing like the ice. And they said they drive the Zamboni, but I actually heard that's not true. From what I heard. But they are in the ice rink. Like I do believe that is true. And he told me they were going to literally work like 16 hours every day.
They decided to cancel. What? They decided to cancel the All-Star game?
That day? Really? What?
No. I guess to do more of like the international thing. I don't know.
Let me see. It will not be held. Instead, the NHL is replaced. So instead, they're replacing it with an international event, possibly an Olympic send-off, due to the success of the four nations in the upcoming Winter Olympics. Okay, so the Winter Olympics is coming up.
That makes sense.
I guess because they're replacing it with. So I feel like it's even better. Am I wrong? I feel like it's even better.
But it doesn't sound like the Islanders are hosting it. It sounds like they'll put it in a bigger market. I don't know, Brandon. I don't know. Guys, if you've lasted this long, I'm not the biggest hockey fan in the world. You guys know baseball, basketball, a little bit of football. That's my lane. I don't know.
I feel like
sorry.
If this is where they're gonna have some of the Olympics, though, I feel like that's pretty. And then I don't know.
Hey, we got cricket.
We did get cricket, though. You did go to that, right?
I did go to that. Ireland versus Canada. Canada won. I was pissed. I've never been that bad at an event. I wanted to start throwing things. I charged the field. I got arrested. I'm kidding. I did not. Words cannot describe how apathetic I was.
Does the U.S. have a cricket team?
Yeah, dude. We won. We won. Yeah, we won some games, dude.
No.
Yes, we did. We beat Pakistan.
Okay.
Or India, one of the two. And it was like the biggest upset in international cricket.
Right, I was gonna say because aren't they're big with it with cricket,
and
right?
we won.
India, Pakistan, yeah.
We won on our home turf.
Under
the bright lights of a makeshift stadium at Eisenhower Park. My friend who worked at Eisenhower Park didn't know it was being made until we told him.
That's funny.
He was with us at the time. I was like, look at what all your hard work goes into. He's like, I don't do anything with these. This isn't my job.
I just realized. I just realized it as before we move on to the next topic. We got to go to that Buffalo place again, that wing place.
That went for my birthday?
Yeah,
definitely. Although Monday nights I'm not available to do the buy one get one wings.
Damn.
Sorry.
Maybe in the summer.
Won't be available then either.
Damn.
Because I have my college job Monday nights. Full price wings it is.
Full price. I'll pay.
Well, your birthday's coming up. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll treat you 2 wings. I owe you 1 free wings.
No, you don't. We'll make sure we go. That's not a bad idea. We'll work that out after.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Congrats to the Florida Panthers.
Congrats.
And yeah, so a lot going on in baseball. I know we always start off talking about the Mets and the Yankees, but we got to talk about one of the most bombshell trades, unexpected trade that have happened in the world of baseball. Yeah, this will happen on Sunday night. This didn't happen on like a weekday afternoon.
Can I interject here?
Sunday night, first, when everyone's getting ready for work, and what's going on?
Quick second. I just want to interject. We're just talking about how Brad Marchand was a big part of the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. Now we're talking about this trade. Boston fans, I'm sorry, but you guys have been so spoiled in the 21st century. I don't care.
It's true.
I don't care.
They have been. I'm in. Like I said, I'm from New York. My team's from New York. I don't really care for Boston. If I had to have a second team, if I wasn't a Mets fan. If I was not a Mets fan, but I'm a Mets fan, I'm a diehard Mets fan, I would have been a Red Sox fan.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have.
You would have been a Yankees fan.
I don't know.
You would have grown up in a Yankees household if you guys weren't Mets fans.
You almost made me curse. I almost cursed on the
You would have grown up in a Yankees household if you weren't Mets fans.
I don't know.
It's a New York team.
They're only New York team, but then at the same time, they had the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Maybe you would have grown up in a Dodger. You think that your team would have stayed, your family, your lineage would have stayed Dodger loyalists for 70 years. Not happening.
I don't know. That's tough. If they were the only team, I wish my grandpa was alive because I would have asked him. That would have been a good question.
So he was born a big Brooklyn Dodger fan?
He was born into the Brooklyn Dodgers, and then when they left, he didn't go to the Yankees. I don't know if he rooted for the Yankees. I'm not really too sure, but when the Mets came to town, that was the team. He was an original Mets fan. And an original Dodgers fan too, and so was my Aunt Jenny, rest in peace. So no, I don't know. They didn't make the switch to the Yankees, no. So, but either way, if I wasn't a Mets fan, the Red Sox would have been the team. I don't know why. I like to credit my Aunt Jenny to that. I remember she told me because I remember I went to Fenway. It was nice, but at the same time, I'm not a Red Sox fan. So screw Boston. They have been spoiled with a ton of championships in the 21st century. So I don't know what's been going. I don't know what's been going on. They definitely, from what I heard, and obviously I know Rafael Devers. I know he's been a great player. From what I heard about the situation is that he didn't want to change positions. He wasn't given them much of an option, being flexible. And then they signed up to like a huge deal at one point, like a huge extension.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen a lot of theories about it. One of them is that the same ownership group owns a soccer team, and they're trying to get a deal done with a superstar player. And this is something that Red Sox fans have been saying for a lot of years, that this ownership group, the Fenway ownership group, they seem to be paying a lot more attention to soccer than to baseball. That's why they want John Henry to sell the team so bad.
Yeah, it sucks because watching the documentary, the 2004 Comeback Series, your favorite documentary, watching that documentary,
don't care. I don't remember it. I was
No, I know. I'm just
probably peeing on the walls and pretending I was a fireman at the time. Like, what do I care?
No, I'm
I was 4 years old.
No, I'm joking. There was no, I mean, like in the documentary, John Henry, he's in it. He seems like a active, like especially at the time. He what was I gonna say? He seemed like he was an active owner of the Red Sox. That's what
he owns it anymore. I think he owns the Celtics. I don't think he owns the Red Sox anymore.
I'm pretty sure he does.
The wrong guy. The wrong name, at least. It's the same theory. Red Sox owner currently. It's an ownership group. It's LeBron. Fenway Sports Group. Oh, no, it is John Henry still. Tom Werner. And LeBron James. LeBron owns the Red Sox.
Really? That's interesting. Boston? Kind of shocks me. But either way, so hearing you talking about John Henry, like it seems weird because he seems like he's pretty involved with like the Red Sox. But like from what you're telling me,
changes. I don't know.
This definitely shocked. And let's see what they even got at. It's great because I'm looking at his stats right now. He's definitely pretty respected hitter. He's played 9 years in the league. He already has like 1,000 hits.
Yeah.
So it's
continue. I keep cutting you off.
No, hey, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. So it's definitely shocking to see. I know he played his first game. I should have watched that game. He went 0 for 5. Oh no. He went 2 for 5. My apologies. He went 2 for 5. Would have 1 double, but he did strike out twice. And so far he's leading the league so far in a walk. So he's one of the most respected hitters in the league. But Dennis, I have to ask, why did this get done? And why now? Why now?
I don't know. It's bizarre. They should have waited. First of all, their package was not good. Jordan Hicks, I don't want to say he's a bust, but statistics will say he's a bust.
I did have him in fantasy, and I think I did drop him. In fantasy, don't even get me started. It's going to be aggravated. He's
been regressing for years now, Jordan Hicks. He came into the league. He could throw really fast, and that's about it. I'm not trying to disrespect the kid. His walks and hits per innings pitched is 1.541. That is not good. So basically, excluding errors, he's letting guys on base 1.5 times an inning. That's not good. He started the year his career in 2018 when he was 21, 3.59 ERA. Next year, 3.14 ERA in 29 games pitched. So he had some potential. They're using him as a reliever in St. Louis. Then they tried to move him as a starter. He didn't play in 2020 because of COVID. 2021, he struggled a bit in 10 games. 22, he came back 35 games, 8 starts, 4.84 ERA. Since then, it's inconsistent if he's a starter, if he's a reliever, and it's just average or slightly above average. He can't really get a good footing. But one thing is constant: the walks. It's a problem. He's got no control. So maybe they could tap into something Boston can, but I don't know. Their pitching staff is a little spotty at the moment to begin with. I mean, Walker Buehler, I thought was going to be one of the best signings of the offseason. I picked the Red Sox to win the division. He's been horrible.
Don't even get me started.
He's been horrible. He's been absolutely horrible for them.
And
you got Kyle Harrison too. I'm sorry, a left-handed reliever or left-handed pitcher, who the Giants were kind of using as like a bit of a swingman for a bit there. He was supposed to start Sunday. He found out an hour before opening pitch. Yeah, actually, you're not pitching. You're getting traded to Boston. I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw a video on social media of a girl telling her family, Red Sox fans, at a Father's Day barbecue about the Rafael Devers trade. They thought she was like joking with them. She filmed their reaction. They thought she was kidding. And then somebody else kind of stopped laughing and was like, "No, this is true."
True.
And the whole demeanor changed. Like, Red Sox fans are pissed. They lost Mookie Betts. They lost Chris Sale, who then wound up winning the pitching Triple Crown.
Yeah.
They lost Xander Bogaerts. That one you can't be mad about. Bogaerts, he's been horrible in San Diego. You won that trade.
You won that deal.
Yeah. Now you lose Devers. They were mad when they lost Benintendi. Again, that turned out to be for the better. But
Mookie Betts, though, and obviously
Mookie Betts and Rafael Devers. And the trade you got back, what you got back is not much. I don't think anybody from the Mookie Betts trade is even still on the Red Sox.
It's crazy looking back at I'm looking at Chris Sale's stats right now. It's crazy looking back at like the impact he had last year for the Braves. And it's sad. Well, screw the Braves because they're my division rival, but the year he had, it's sad they didn't do anything really with him. They went 18 for 3 with a 2.38 ERA. Really one of the best bounce back years you're ever going to see from a pitcher. With 225 strikeouts, Jesus. So obviously you could see that from the player. It's just sometimes change is needed, and it's obvious that he needed to get away from the Red Sox. They needed to part ways, and obviously Mookie Betts. That was people make that known as the robbery of the century with that trade. And obviously, he's lighting it up with the Dodgers, and he has. And but obviously, hopefully this Rafael Devers trade is not going to bite them in the butt within the next decade or two. So with the Red Sox, we'll see. Only time will tell.
It's odd. I would have waited longer if I was them.
They definitely should have waited at the deadline, though. Keep them playing, especially if they're trying to contend. They're trying to play. I know they
should have shopped them around.
Didn't they
swept the Yankees.
Yeah,
they literally swept the Yankees.
And then destroyed the Yankees.
Series, they swept the Yankees. They finished sweeping the Yankees, and then right after that game, he gets traded.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I really don't get it. Now, there is the part of it that we have to talk about, which is he didn't want to move to first base. Yeah, Masataka Yoshida, who's making a lot of money, but not as much as Devers is, wants to play and literally can't. He can't throw. He can't throw. His arm is shot. I think he got Tommy John or he got some kind of arm surgery that he can swing, he can hit, he can't throw. This happened to Bryce Harper a couple years ago. He wants to play. And you have Devers who doesn't want to learn first base. Now, I understand that the ownership, the front office lied to him when they brought in Alex Bregman. I could see that theory being true. That they supposedly they told him Bregman would try out second base or first base or something like that, or be DH and he'll stay at third.
Right.
He didn't want to be DH either. I mean, the press conference when they first got Bregman, they asked, would you consider being DH? He said no. Not through his translator. He said no. So it seems to me like the Red Sox lied to him, and I get being mad. But at the same time, too, you guys can still be competitive.
Yeah.
You can still be competitive. You have a guy on your team who wants to play and can't. Think about him. Think about him. Think about some of these other guys. I mean, really. It's not fair to them. Sorry. When I signed my contract, I thought I was going to be the third baseman of the future. They didn't run this by me. That sucks. You're still getting paid more than half the roster combined. Grow up. I understand that from the Red Sox. I totally get that. But at the same time, too, at some point, you got to, shop him around. Yeah, I'm sure there are teams that could use Rafael Devers that would have paid a premium price. You know who would have paid a premium price for Rafael Devers? Your team.
New York Mets?
Yeah. Yeah.
A DH?
To play third base? You could always trade him later.
I would have loved to have had him at third base. That definitely would have been a huge upgrade either over Vientos or Beatty.
Yeah.
Nothing against Vientos. It sucks because Vientos had such a great year last year, and I don't know what happened so far. I know he's injured right now, but like the production from last year is just not there compared to previous years. I don't know what happened. He had a great postseason for us. Was that?
Blue Jays. They always have a hard time getting somebody. First base, you have Guerrero, Bichette in the middle infield, Bogaerts. I mean, not Bogaerts. Devers. Mariners can't need hitting. The Mariners always need hitting.
Like I said, it sucks because, like I said, he had such a Vientos. There's still potential with them, but so far it just hasn't been it yet, and he's been injured. So I guess they still have faith in him. They're hoping that he can be the next, Devers. But thank God that they signed back Pete Alonso when they did, because imagine if Mark Vientos was their first baseman right now, the Mets would be screwed. The Mets would not be as high as they are right now in the division, which is why extending Pete Alonso has to be a must, and that's something we should get into. But no, honestly, I agree. But I feel like if they traded for Devers, then what do you do with Pete Alonso then? Are they going to be able to extend him then?
I don't know. I think you can put together a better package than Jordan Hicks and Kyle Harrison if Boston pays some of it.
The Mets would have definitely had to give up.
I'm not saying they're a number one team. I'm just saying there's plenty of teams that they could have shopped him around to. That, like, I understand Boston's side of it, but they didn't do their due diligence to trade him. There's plenty of teams that could have used him. Even if it was a DH. All right, that's an expensive DH, but I don't know. I don't know, like, think of any team on the bubble or teams that might have been bad for a long time that have a lot of prospects. Would you trade him in division to Baltimore? Would you trade him in conference to Detroit? Would you trade him in conference to Kansas City? There's plenty of teams that could use a really good third baseman. Defensively, is Rafael Devers the best? No, we know that. But offensively, I find the whole thing weird. I find the whole thing bizarre.
It's definitely interesting. But hey, you know what? He's a Giant now, and yeah, so that's good for the Giants, though. Yeah, it's definitely hard for them to attract star talent there. So I feel like maybe you have to trade for it.
Yeah, they keep coming in second place. There's a whole Arson Judge meme and all that stuff. I get it. They had to do what they had to do. And for what they paid, they basically just signed him and had to give up a couple of players. Because they're paying the whole salary. They're paying the whole contract. All right.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. That's not the end of the world. You're okay with that.
We just got I got something from Bleacher now that said Devers felt like a scapegoat.
Totally.
Drafty thought he was being blamed for Red Sox struggles. Now that should be abysmal if that's the case. If you're blaming him for the struggles instead of the whole team, that's just abysmal. That's blasphemy. And I never say that word, but that's how I feel about that. If that's what they feel. Come on. That's just wrong. Oh wow. Did he really? Oh wow. Oh, I think. Oh yeah. Oh wow. I just watching the Pat McAfee now. The Ravens. Well, real quick, the Ravens just signed Jair Alexander, this stud cornerback from the Packers that just got released from them, and now he's signs with Baltimore. It's crazy because, I just got this. Because Lamar Jackson said it yesterday. He wants them to go after him, and yeah, so that's definitely a good fit. We'll dive into that later. Actually, I didn't think it was going to be any NFL news to talk about, but we'll get into that. But yeah, no. So good for hopefully Rafael Devers has a good career there, and we'll see. But good for the Giants. Because that division, I feel like, is up for grabs right now. Like, I know feel like the Dodgers are obviously the main favorite right now, but it just with the injuries that they're having, the Padres, with their, they got the Padres and then obviously the Giants, Diamondbacks. It's a tough division in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a brutal division. You don't know who's really winning it. There's 4 teams in there that are, you can see winning it. The Giants, you can't. Well, I wouldn't say that. The Diamondbacks, their pitching staff has really not been very good. But
now to the Rockies. Supposedly the Rockies yesterday, I saw they hit 7 home runs in a game. That's insane.
Yeah, they put a beating on Washington.
Look at them. They won 3 straight games, though. Good for them. I feel bad for the Rockies. I feel like now they're, for some reason, they're actually playing like a legitimate ball club.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they won 3 straight games. And I remember I think Orlando Arcia hit like a walk-off the other day, so good for them. It's fun when your team wins. It's not fun when they're losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been losing for so long. For so long, they've been losing.
Yeah, it's not fun. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so just kudos to the Giants. Now on to the Mets and the Giants. The Mets, I know they've been on a bad 3-game skid. The Tampa Bay Rays, they came to New York and they definitely gave the Mets a beating. I'm not gonna lie. The Mets, I feel like the Mets just played like the Mets though. I feel like they were up a lot in the games and then bad fielding, bad pitching, and just good hitting by the Tampa Bay Rays. They ran away with it essentially. The Florida State game, 9-0. I barely even watched that game. I was hanging out with my family, but that wasn't even watchable.
Yeah.
Last night they should have easily won last night. I'm glad to see Juan Soto's playing like Juan Soto is. I feel like he's definitely shutting down a lot of the critics. It's good to see that. Great home run in the first at bat. Not good base running last night. That definitely hurt them a little bit. Players make mistakes though. What are you gonna do? Just they got to take advantage. They got to take advantage more of the opportunities when there's runners in scoring position. You got to take advantage of that. You're not going to beat the Braves winning 4-1. They're going to find a way, especially the Braves, one of their toughest rivals in the league. I feel bad for Francisco Alvarez, but I don't know what to do with him really anymore. It's probably should. Maybe he needs to get sent back down to the minors. He needs to maybe relearn a thing or two. It's okay. It's happened to Mets players in the past. Look at Michael Conforto.
Yeah.
And he played decent for the Mets throughout the time that he was there. Yeah, before he left the team in 2022. I thought it was. I felt so bad for Reed Garrett had a great inning. He struck out Matt Olson. I forgot who the next player was. I think got him to pop out, and then I think the count was like 2-2 or 3-2, and then of course, I think they said Alvarez changed the pitch. I think they said he wanted a splitter, and then I think Garrett wanted a fastball. It was one of the two. So I feel it's. Then again, Alvarez is going through a lot. I think they said he just had a kid. His wife had a kid. He's probably not getting any sleep. He has been struggling. A lot of people may be saying maybe injuries have kind of derailed his development. So I don't know. I think maybe the best thing right now for him is that they should maybe send him down to the minors. Let him relearn a thing or two. Just relax, reset. Then he comes back to the Mets and he's back to where he needs to be. He's still potential for him. But at the same time, this is not looking good for the Mets right now. They need to do something.
At minimum, they need to start Luis Torrens. They need to start playing him,
especially because Torrens is a great defensive player, and especially what happened in the bottom of the 10th with that miss error by Alvarez. Like you need a not just offensive catcher, but the defense as well. And Torrens could easily be a great offensive catcher as well. I'm not looking for him to be Mike Piazza, but he's a great player. That was a great pickup by David Stearns. It only cost the Mets $100,000.
Yeah,
it was great, but yeah, like I said, they need to. Something does need to change. Luis Torrens needs to start more, and we'll see. But the Mets almost had it, but they just you can't, like they say. I can say Pokemon, you got to catch them all, but in this case, you can't win them all. You can't win. In sports, you can't always win them. But that's my take on it. David Peterson, though, I know he had a complete game the other night. Complete game shutout against the Nationals. Great game. He's turning out to be one of the southpaws, in the league that we thought he'd be drafted back when he first drafted him in the first round. I think that was 2018 or 20. Either way, like. He's turning out to be the southpaw we envisioned him being. I remember back then, and people get Ajita when people were saying, "Oh, who's pitching tonight?" Oh, David Peterson. They'd be like, "Oh my god!" Mm-hmm. But man, he's just been dominant, getting out of just. He's not saying he's having like 12 strikeouts a game, but he's getting ground balls, getting runners out. some strikeouts. He's been a great pitcher. I don't know what the pitch sequence has been, but he's been great. He probably should have came out after the 7th. But if you would have told me, would you have wanted him to pitch 8 innings? Yeah, I agree. I wanted him to pitch 8 innings. But like I said, you can't always win them all, and that's how I feel on that. But it was good the Phillies lost as well, because now the Mets are only 2 games back still. They should have been 3 games, but now they're back at 2. And yeah, but I know the Yankees, they just got swept by the Red Sox. It has not been fun, and they got shut it out again by the Angels last
3
night.
straight times we've been shut out. Only the 7th time in our team's history. 3 straight games.
Really? That's crazy.
Stupid is what it is. It's freaking stupid.
I know Judge his average went down from like 392 or 96 to like 378 last time I checked.
Yeah. Now, in fairness to Aaron Judge, he's hitting 378. Like, that's what are we doing, you know? But it's got to be the other guys. They need to come on, man. It's Kyle Hendricks in 2025. I mean, the guys. I'm sure Kyle Hendricks is a great guy. I'm not trying to hate on him. I used to really love Kyle Hendricks when he was on the Cubs. I did. All right. When he was younger in his peak, he was incredible. He was arguably a Cy Young caliber pitcher. Dude, over the last couple of years, his career's had one foot in the grave. All right. Not trying to hate on the young man. It's Kyle Hendricks, bro. It's Kyle Hendricks.
He's great. Kyle Hendricks is great.
Why is he looking like Pedro Martinez? Prime Pedro. Not washed up on the Phillies or Mets Pedro. Prime Jerry Curl Pedro. Why? I'm asking you.
Why? I don't think I could tell you. I can't even tell you.
Dude. The Angels are 35-37 and currently on a 2-game winning streak. So before this series, they were 33-37. Why are they kicking us up and down the street here? 5-0 across 2 games. 5-0. We lost 1-0. Brandon, we lost 1-0 in the 11th inning.
I think it's Kyle Hendricks. Oh my God. I didn't know he was in Chicago. I don't know he was in Chicago for that long.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks. He had 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. 9 strikeouts. If Kyle Hendricks threw a ball on the highway, I don't even think he'd get pulled over for speeding nowadays. Come on, man.
I think it's crazy.
I was so mad watching that game. Dotting us. Kyle Hendricks. He got 18 outs in the game, Brandon. 50% of them were strikeouts. I'm screaming into this mic. I'm sorry for those of you wearing earphones. Dude. Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks. Come on. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on, man. He had 5 or more strikeouts 3 other times this season. 1-6, 2-5. Good for him, though. Lower your ERA a bit. I liked him. Like I said, I liked him when I was younger. I liked him. Lower the ERA a little bit, young fella. Get after it. Do what you got to do. Prove that you can still play. The old dog can still hunt. You don't have jerks like me saying your career's got 1 foot in the grave. You know, prove me wrong. But come on. What are we doing here?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean,
I just want to look
what
at
are
the
we
box
doing
score
here?
real quick of that game. That game was so frustrating to watch last night. Dominguez got a hit. Bellinger got a hit. Judge went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Thanks for playing. Stanton, since coming back, is batted 500. He had 2 hits last night. Chisholm had 2 walks, 2 at-bats. So he didn't strike out or anything like that. Goldschmidt, 2 strikeouts. He's been slumping hard lately. Wells, 2 strikeouts. LeMahieu, 3 strikeouts.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie's got to get it going. In his last 5 games, he's only had 2 hits. He's only gone on base 3 different times.
I definitely could see if the way he's playing though. I definitely could see him making it to 3,000 hits if he wanted to.
I don't know how many hits he has.
He has 2,136 so far. And
he can't get to 3,000.
You don't think so?
37 years old. That's like another 8 years.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely tough. He's probably going to the All-Star game though this year. Definitely.
I voted for him to be first base.
I heard someone at my job. I know you think you know who he is. He was telling me because I didn't vote. I'm sorry, I didn't vote him as an All-Star, but I did vote for Aaron Judge though. I did vote for Aaron Judge.
Who'd you vote first base for the Yankees then? For the American League then?
Vlad Guerrero.
Has Guerrero been that good?
I'm sorry, but he was telling me. I mean, he's still having a great average. But he was telling me he's batting like 340, 350. Like, yeah, maybe the beginning of April. But like he's still hitting like 304, which is still really good. I'm not denying that.
No, I would have. I'd stand by Goldschmidt over Vlad Guerrero. That's crazy.
What are you gonna do?
And when you factor in the defense too, no. I'm happy with my pick.
Hey, good for you. Very proud of you.
I'm not proud of you.
I'm sorry to disappoint. But
kidding.
I know. I have a sense of humor, and I get you. I get your sense of humor too.
You do.
I know we talked about this in the beginning of the show. I also voted in Tyrone Taylor. Just to throw it in, because why not?
As a meme pick? Sometimes you need to have a good meme pick.
50,
I voted Jan Gomes every year for like 5 years.
It was a 50-50 meme pick, but I also think he's actually playing. He's a great defensive player. He's insane. The play last night for the second out of the last play of the game, like you would have thought it was going to go over his head. He still made a great catch, but either way, it was a sacrifice fly at the end of the game, and the Braves won it either way. But it was still a great play. I'm like, all right, he made nice play, and all right, either way. So it made the loss less heartbreaking in a way. Like, made that. Like he didn't just let. I give him credit. He didn't let the ball just go over. Like, oh, it's a hit. That's it. Like he still managed to make a nice catch. I was like, all right. Huh? What's going on? What's going on?
I like Tyrone Taylor. Hopefully he gets into the All-Star game.
Oh God, what happened?
Anyway, the Yankees are fetting me up. I'm getting big mad. I'm getting baby boy Denny. Getting mad, throwing tantrums, watching the game. Especially they're playing in California. Oh no, they're home for it. So I just almost lied to the audience. Sorry. I said, especially aren't they playing in California? I have to stay up for these games. And I remember, no, I've just been watching a lot of West Coast baseball lately, and I just got confused.
I'm pissed. If you were off tomorrow, I definitely would have made exception to go to the Yankee game tomorrow.
Dude, tomorrow's like a nuts day for me. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm busy from 10 a.m. till like 10 p.m.
I might get coffee with a friend. I still got to see if she wants to go, and then just a friend, good friend of mine all these years, and then I gotta see if, and then I'm working at Connoisseur 2 to 5. It's clean out day, so I was like, all right, why not? Helping out clean them out, like clean out like the storage units, and then maybe organize the vans. So yeah, I'm trying to work for them as much as I can. So like I really want to see what I can do for the company, but it also is great working extra money, getting extra money. And the street promotions has been fun though too. Let me tell you. But I'll talk about that off the air. I was gonna say. I'm excited though. I wish you were coming to Fanatics Fest with me this Saturday. Me and Chris Lafia.
No.
Not even for the panels.
That doesn't work for me, brother. First of all, I'm already working and I have no sick time.
Okay. Reasonable.
Stops right there.
Okay. Yep. Stops right there. Right. Luckily, I picked up a shift. I was only going to Saturday. And I think I spent decent. Last year, I think I spent reasonably. I'm saving up. I spent reasonably this year. I almost spent extra, but I forgot why. I think just like I was spending money on like other things that were more important. I love collecting sports memorabilia. But but you gotta have like a limit and a boundary and like but so no, I think I'm spending. I spend money on I'm gonna meet Piazza, John Franco, and then Johnny Manziel.
Okay.
So that's
you want to meet Johnny Manziel? Why do you want to meet Johnny Manziel?
I loved Johnny football when I was a kid. Are you kidding? I loved Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember watching him in college. I remember when he won the Heisman and just, I guess just the swag, just like why I would want to meet next year if I go, which I probably will. I would go meet Allen Iverson.
Okay, tell him I said hello.
I will. But no, yeah, like this year I want to take advantage of going to the panels, like enjoying that. The other festivities, less much of the memorabilia. But and also just I guess connecting as well. But I'm excited for it though. I've been waiting for this for a decent while, I guess.
Bring your own baseballs. If they want to sign anything, bring your own.
I'm way ahead of you. Way ahead of you.
Bring your own. What is that?
Baseball.
What's the brand?
This. Please sponsor me. Sponsor sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sponsor me and Dennis.
Sure. Who knew? I never heard of that brand before. I was like, what?
Yeah, I saw I got 3. I'm like, I was like, all right, but and they're legit. Yeah, they're legit. They're hard too. Legit baseballs. I don't know if these baseball like junior size or regular baseball size. They look big enough. They look like a regular size, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. put it up to an actual baseball. Put it up to one of the baseballs you got signed last year.
Baseball's a baseball. I'll take it.
Well, I can't wait to hear all your adventures in
Fanatics in the city.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna say I know it's relevant to the show, but my shoulder's feeling good.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, it feels great. My PT's been saying that's like you don't really need to come. So I'm gonna see him in 2 weeks, which is good. But yeah, besides that, oh my god, we completely skipped over the NBA Finals.
We did.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk.
I don't know how we did that. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was so caught up in the baseball news. I have MLB Network on. I was not thinking of basketball whatsoever. So it looks like I picked the Pacers. You picked the Thunder. It looks like you're winning this one.
Yeah, I changed my not that I changed my vote, but I changed my I thought that the Pacers were going to run away with it, but I feel like Tyrese Halliburton's calf strain says otherwise. I feel bad. It's tough because like imagine being told like you be getting injured, but like something you feel like you could play for, but you can't. Around the NBA Finals, it definitely feels tough.
Listen though, Halliburton's been great. The Thunder have not been able to stop that MFer, that TJ McConnell. They can't do nothing against little TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell has been that dude. You look up that dude in the dictionary, it's a picture of TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell.
With that 90-minute wind-up for his three-point shots. He comes in, explosive energy off the bench. The Thunder are a little tired and whatnot, and he just takes it to them. He's getting steals. He's diving for loose balls. He's under the rim. He's going for the little, scoop layup. That TJ McConnell, if Halliburton doesn't play Thursday night, if he doesn't play, Don't be surprised. That little TJ McConnell, the little engine that could. I keep saying that little TJ McConnell. He's probably like 6'3". But on TV, he looks so much shorter because everybody else around him is giant.
He's like 6 foot.
He plays low. He plays low. And Mathurin, too. Like, hey, this Pacers team, Halliburton, don't count them out. Don't count them out. Do not get trapped by this Pacers team, Brandon. I'm sticking with my boys. I'm going down with the ship. Brandon. I'm going down with them.
Like I said, I don't know. You never know what could happen tonight. I think the Thunder are gonna take it all the way.
I think you're right. Tomorrow night,
I think they're gonna win. I think it's also a cool finals because this is like a franchise that's gonna win. Either one franchise is gonna have their first NBA title.
I know people are gonna say, well, technically the Thunder had another one, but that was in Seattle. I don't count that.
That was in Seattle. Yeah, this is different. It's different.
I don't count it. Shame on you to people who do.
But
yeah, I mean, listen, at this point, games 5 and 4, which were the two we didn't talk about, they've happened so long ago. I don't know what new we could add to the conversation around it. I'm just excited for game 6. Pacers. Brandon, say what me. Pacers.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I still gotta roll. I'm still rolling with the Thunder. I know I changed my pick the other day, but after what happened, no. And this is the last time I'm gonna change it. Still going with the Thunder.
Here we go, Pacers. Here we go. Pacers. Here we go.
But all right.
If they win the ship, you're out of your mind if you don't think I'm getting myself a TJ McConnell jersey. Or Pascal Siakam. I've always liked Pascal Siakam, the pride of Cameroon. Pascal Siakam.
I like Siakam.
Seems like a good kid. Nothing but good things to say about him. I didn't even realize we were live today.
Yeah, we always go live around this time.
Oh, shoot, I would have been opposed.
Oh well, but I think that covers it because I do gotta
get going. All right, it was fun talking to you, and it was fun talking to the audience.
Thank you everybody for watching. I thought this was a great episode of Sports Shack.
Mad fun
for real. And hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great Father's Day weekend. I'm excited because next week is my birthday. We're going to get into that. Oh, we actually got a viewer. So before we actually wrap up, that is you.
It's me. I have it open in the other window so I can see the chat.
But yeah, thank you everybody for listening to Sports Shack. Hope everybody has a great weekend and God bless. And like I said, the Sports Shack, I'm Brandon Talley along with Dennis Toohey.